Right, let's get this transfer window started. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to 100% Chelsea. And yes, as I said, it's nearly January. A few more days, we're rolling into 2018 and the transfer window reopens for 1 month. Now obviously, we had the whole summer to debate the issues we had in the transfer window, and now we've got to try and resolve the issues that we've had. Evidently, there are a few things we need. Going into this transfer window, we've been linked with the likes of Alexandro yet again at left back, as well as Alex Telles, and obviously in central midfield, we've had Arturo Vidal heavily linked to Chelsea Football Club because of his relationship with Antonio Conte. But as usual, we're only going to tell you what's going on. We're not going to find the bad sources. We're only going to give you this stuff as and when we hear it. And anyway, here is today's Chelsea transfer news. We've only got two major stories to report today, and to be honest, neither of them are that great. So, first one, let's talk about it. Eden Hazard. Now, obviously, apparently, he's rejected a new offer from Chelsea Football Club for a contract and is waiting for Real Madrid to try and come in and get our, basically, main man. Now, for me, obviously, it is something I'm prepared for. It's something which we've basically had to prepare for a couple of years. Let's be honest, he is a top quality player, and it wasn't long before the top quality clubs came calling. Obviously, there was a lot of rumours regarding, because of his comments he made about Messi and Barcelona. Apparently, Florentino Perez didn't want anything to do with Eden Hazard, but now, obviously, Zinedine Zidane is a massive fan, and he wants to bring him in to Real Madrid and obviously strengthen the team. Same goes for Thibaut Courtois. Obviously, he's missing his family. They all live out in Madrid, his children, and Real Madrid apparently are lining up a move for our goalkeeper, basically. Now, let's look at this realistically. We will not sell both of them in the same window. They're not going to go in January. There's two key. This is obviously a deal where we're looking at the summer and maybe beyond. But I've been speaking to a few people online, and I've been speaking to some of my sources. I've spoken to Simon Phillips, who's actually told me what's going on. And so obviously I trust Simon a lot. He's a pretty good source when it comes to Chelsea news. And he's told me that Thibaut Courtois, he will leave. Not this summer, maybe next summer. It's not immediate effect, but it's going to happen. He misses his family a lot, and he obviously wants to go and be with them and see his kids grow up in Madrid. So this is a deal that could be happening, but it's a very long way away. And obviously, what does that mean for us? It means that we have to go and look at other targets. It means we have to look at goalkeepers. And to be honest with you, Willy Caballero is a very, very short-term option, and he's not exactly Thibaut Courtois. Realistically, I think we're probably going to be looking at Jan Oblak, for example, or we're going to be looking at that top tier of goalkeepers. Now, it's going to cost us a lot of money, but obviously we're going to recoup a lot of that from our sale of Thibaut Courtois as and when it happens. But obviously, this transfer window, it's not going to happen, so I wouldn't worry about it. Concerning Eden Hazard, the same applies, really. So, basically, what Simon was telling me is, where everyone's saying that we've tabled an offer, that is not true. Chelsea Football Club have not tabled an offer yet for Eden Hazard. There's been subtle talks, in passing, of extending his deal, but obviously, there's been nothing concrete put down and said, look, we want to give you this deal, we want to do this. And apparently, anyway, regarding those talks, he's been a bit hesitant. He wants to leave his options open. He wants to see what happens. We've only got a couple of years left on his contract, so if we want to renew it, we're going to want to renew it now and get it done quickly. Thibaut Courtois apparently might do, might not. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this develops. Obviously, we'll keep you updated as and when we hear things. If you want to hear more stuff as well, make sure you go and check out Simon. I'm going to leave a link down to his Twitter as well. He's very, very reliable, Simon Phillips. And yeah, I definitely suggest you go and keep an eye on him, because he's one which is brilliant for Chelsea news. But let's talk a little bit more about this deal anyway. I mean, if you were going to sell Eden Hazard, realistically, we're going to struggle. Put it this way, I'm looking at this in terms of how we've done our deals recently in the transfer window, and it's not been that great at all. It's been something which we've really, really not done well at. We've been in the green in terms of our sales and positivity, and, we're not as... we don't throw money at players anymore. So where does that leave us in the market? We like to go for the 32, 33 million pound player, and realistically, in today's market, with Virgil van Dijk going for 75 million pounds, you're not going to get a top quality player for 32 million. And if you do, you've done yourself a fantastic bargain, but that's a 1 in 1,000 chance that's going to happen. We've had to fork out for Alvaro Morata, because that was, I guess, almost a panic. He's done okay. Obviously, I was looking at statistics in terms of Premier League and what he's done. He scored 10 goals, got 4 assists. That's a 41% conversion rate and involvement in goals, all of Chelsea goals as well. So, he's done okay. However, he could be doing more and he needs help. He's a bit of a Bambi on ice at the minute, in my opinion. I still feel he's not exactly settled into the league. I still feel he goes down a bit too easily, and he needs help and he needs service. And obviously, him and Eden Hazard have been linking up well, as well as him and Dave. So it's been okay, but we need a striker. But Eden Hazard, as I said then, is very, very, very key to how we play our football. There has been a few occasions where he has dragged us through it, and he's had his magic ways, shall we say, and I think that this is something which, if we're going to have to replace him, we're going to have to find someone. I'm sorry, we've seen how Tottenham handled the Gareth Bale money. We've seen how clubs have handled it when they've had a huge amount of money coming for a player and how they've reinvested it. I feel obviously we're not in the way that Tottenham handled it. I feel that we wouldn't. I feel we have our own way of handling it. But now this is a completely different transfer window. Obviously, we're now without Michael Emenalo, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's down to everyone's opinion. For me, I was kind of happy when he went. He did a job for us. Wasn't that great sometimes, but sometimes he did find a diamond in the rough. Marina Grovskaya, we're going to have to see how she handles the business. She's a shrewd businesswoman, but let's be honest, she's not exactly been that great in terms of getting players in later on. Bruce Buck got a Sappacosta on deadline day because she wasn't pulling her finger out to get us a player. So hopefully this month we actually put a shift in, because we need to. Quite frankly, we are lacking in central midfield. We need a left wing back if Babarama's going to go on loan, as apparently what's happening. Apparently an Italian side, unnamed Italian side, want to get hold of him. But there are things that need to be done in transfer window, and we need to correct the errors that we made in the summer. We need another striker. We need a central fielder. We need a left wing back. We need to find a way to tie down Eden Hazard to another contract. If he doesn't want to sign, then we need to start looking for other people, because this is pretty big for us. If we lose Eden Hazard, for the past few seasons he's been our main man, and we've relied on him quite heavily a lot this season, in my opinion. Same goes for Thibaut Courtois. As many people like to slate him, he's not the best keeper in the Prem, he's not this, he's not that. He is still a very good goalkeeper, and he's that top calibre, and to be honest, we're not going to be able to get an upgrade on that. I personally feel Thibaut Courtois is up there in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world. Him and Oblak, obviously I'm not saying Oblak's worse, it's all down to opinion. I think they're kind of equal, but for us to go and get Oblak, we're going to pay a ridiculous fee, and to be honest, I don't particularly want to do that. I want to find a way to keep hold of Thibaut Courtois, and if we can't, I want to look at potentially doing what we did with him in terms of a young player, bring him in, send him out on loan. And there's a few out there. We also got there's a few. Blackman, apparently. It can be interesting to see how he develops. I mean, he still has the potential in him, I believe. But we'll have to see how that all goes. I mean, obviously, I speak to Jeanne about it, and she feels that he does. And in terms of Chelsea goalkeepers, I'm not going to question Christophe Lollichon or Jean Lollichon on it, because let's be honest, I think they kind of know what they're talking about compared to me, a fat bloke who stands in front of a camera in his bedroom. But other than that, we're going to have to see how everything develops. Let us know your thoughts on how we could develop. Who would you like to see coming in the January transfer window? Obviously, make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea. All social media links are down in the description for Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram. Also, if you want to ask me some more questions about January and transfers as well, my socials are coming up on screen now, so make sure you follow them, and then we can have a chat over there. I'll happily talk to any of you guys. It's important that we have that contact open, because obviously you guys watch the channel. It also helps us develop. Also, just a quick one before we go, guys. We've got another deal from Ladbrokes. Oh yes, it's a fantastic one again. Obviously last week it didn't exactly pay off, and I am a bit annoyed about it as well, because it would have been nice to see us score a goal as well. But this week it's slightly different. It's to see at 33-1 for a goal to be scored in Chelsea versus Stoke. So make sure you head across to Ladbrokes. Make sure you sign up. It's a £1 bet, £5 minimum stake put down. Make sure you do that. There's a link down in the description to make sure you head across there to get the stuff. Obviously as well, make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea again. All socials are down in the description. And guys, we'll see you soon for another TTS.